They claimed humans were delicate, yet the Earth student lifted their rivals' desk. The Academy of Zenith Spires loomed like a jagged crown against the planet's emerald sky, a gathering place for the brightest cadets of 27 species. Within its crystal towers floated lecture spheres, warped gravity, sparring rings, and translation fields, buzzing to stop quarrels from sparking. But tension had already begun the moment a human set foot inside. Only one Terran had been permitted after endless petitions from Earth's envoys. That lone student, Alex Murrin, now lived beneath constant scrutiny. Rumors spread quickly through scaled, feathered, and armored cadets alike. Earthlings, they said, were frail, slow, unfit for the stars. Instructors urged fairness, but cadets demanded proof of mind, proof of endurance, proof of strength. They devised challenges and whispered about testing the newcomer until the truth emerged. One afternoon, beneath the glow of the Academy's vast violet crystal, the demand rang louder than ever. "Show us your strength," roared Vorik, a towering, four-armed reptilian, whose muscles coiled like braided steel. Around him gathered dozens of students, some eager, some mocking. The challenge was clear. Alex must earn his place among them. Silence swept the atrium as 3 cadets stepped forward. A winged scholar named HFY, a marble-skinned gravity shaper called Cell, and a soft-shelled aquatic crawler known as M. Together, they weighed nearly as much as Vorik himself. They expected Alex to strain, to stumble, to collapse in shame. But Alex only smiled. Life on Earth had meant long hours hauling crates at markets, siblings riding on his back during hikes, training with scrap metal in backyards instead of polished gyms. He rolled his shoulders, said nothing, and crouched low. The crowd leaned in. Cell climbed onto his left shoulder. HFY perched on the right. M sprawled across his back. A wave of gasps rippled as Alex locked his stance, rose smoothly, and lifted all 3 clear off the ground. The weight pressed hard. Sweat gathered on his brow, muscles trembling slightly. Yet he stood tall, breath even, eyes steady, as if this were a simple warm-up. The atrium hushed in shock. Even Vorik's grin faltered. He had expected groaning, bending knees, maybe injury. Instead, the Terran carried 3 cadets like props in a lesson. "Impossible," whispered HFY, feathers shivering. Cell tilted his crystalline head, searching for hidden gravity fields, but sensors confirmed none. M wriggled uneasily, muttering in his watery tongue, "He is not failing." Alex shifted, lowering and raising them again in a calm squat to prove control. A chorus of insectoid cadets burst out, laughing, not in ridicule, but surprise and awe. "Do you still doubt?" Alex asked, his words translated into 30 languages at once. For a moment, no one spoke. Vorik clenched his fists, caught between embarrassment and curiosity. "You bore them as if they were sacks of grain. How?" Alex lowered the cadets gently, brushing his palms. "On Earth, strength isn't just sport," he said. "We carry because we must. Family, work, burdens. Sometimes we carry each other when no one else can." The silence deepened. In a school where might often meant dominance, Alex revealed strength as something greater than display. Some scoffed, muttering it was a trick. Yet others felt a new respect stir. Instructors along the balconies took notes quietly, their eyes glinting. That evening, the story spread through every dorm pod. The Terran had lifted 3 cadets at once. Retellings grew wilder. Some claimed he used one hand, others swore he spun them overhead. Truth no longer mattered. A seed had been planted. The Academy's culture of trials had found an unexpected rival. In the days ahead, whispers followed Alex through corridors of glowing glyphs. Some aliens offered awkward greetings. Others plotted fresh tests. They could not believe that a minor world in galactic politics had produced someone so unyielding. And Alex knew this was only the beginning. One test had been passed, but more would come. Proof of mind, proof of will, proof of spirit. He clenched his fists and exhaled slowly as night blanketed zenith spires, the sky shimmering with emerald stars. Somewhere within the Academy's towers, another trial was already forming, and Alex braced himself for whatever lay ahead. By week's end, whispers had turned into wagers. The cafeteria, once a quiet blend of nutrient cubes and polyglot chatter, now pulsed with debate about how the Terran would endure his next ordeal. Some claimed his earlier feat had been a quirk of anatomy or a lucky balance of weight. Others argued Earthlings possessed hidden fibers, woven beneath their skin, denser than any alien biology. A few insisted his homeworld's gravity must be harsher than Zenith's, though the archives showed Earth's pull was modest compared to many worlds. Theories clashed, but one truth spread: Alex could no longer be ignored. The Council of Instructors, wary of escalating rivalries, chose to redirect the energy into sanctioned trials. If cadets wished to challenge the Terran, it would be under faculty eyes. Thus, Alex was summoned to the trial hall, a vast arena suspended under the main spire. Here, classes practiced combat drills, survival puzzles, and cooperative tests. Its shifting fields could mimic deserts, glacier, or volcanoes in moments. When Alex entered, tiers of cadets filled the seats above. Whispers rippled. What would the Terran face? Instructor Vera, an avian scholar with bronze-plumed wings, addressed the gathering. The Academy values more than brute strength. We measure resilience, adaptability, endurance. Today's trial will test the Terran's will beneath shifting burdens. At her signal, the arena shimmered. The ground warped into jagged stone, the air thickened, and gravity doubled. Each step felt heavy, the weight pressing into bone. From the far side, 5 cadets entered: Vorik the reptilian, still smarting from shame, flanked by 2 insectoids and 2 winged flyers. They did not come to strike. Each bore a glowing crystal block, humming with compressed energy. Vera's voice carried again: the task is simple. The Terran must prevent these blocks from touching ground for 1 chronometer cycle. No aid, no release. A test of individual endurance. Gasps echoed through the seats. To lift 3 cadets had been impressive, but 5 charged blocks beneath crushing gravity seemed impossible. The insectoid placed them before Alex, mandibles clacking. Vorik folded 2 arms, smirking. Let's see if you still smile when the weight multiplies. Alex examined the blocks. Dense, humming, almost alive. He bent, grasped the first, then the second. Pressure struck instantly. The third drove sweat to his brow. The fourth shifted his balance dangerously. By the 5th, his knees buckled low, but he didn't fall. He steadied his stance, breath ragged, summoning every memory of labor back home, hauling siblings across flooded fields, carrying baskets of stone for his uncle's build sites. On Earth, collapse was never an option when others relied on you to endure. Seconds dragged like hours. The chronometer ticked overhead. Pain tore through his arms, but Alex forced rhythm into his breath, shifting grip to resist numbness. Spectators leaned forward, some wide-eyed, others whispering he would soon fail. Cell, the gravity shaper once perched on his shoulder, tilted his crystalline head. He understood the precise load. Yet still the Terran stood. Vorik's grin dissolved. He had hoped for a collapse, a spectacle of defeat. Instead, he saw resolve carved in sweat and trembling muscle. He cannot last, Vorik muttered. But the chronometer neared its end. A murmur swelled as the final moments flashed red. Alex, arms burning, chest heaving, locked his stance. With a last exhale, the chronometer chimed. Gravity returned to normal. Drones whisked the blocks away as Alex dropped to one knee. Not broken, but spent, muscles quaking. The hall erupted, half disbelief, half respect. Mandibles clapped, wings beat. Tails thundered. Instructor Vera's feathers gleamed gold as she declared. The trial is complete. The Terran has endured. That night, the story raced through every dorm. Some swore he had held the blocks with one hand. Others claimed he had smiled the entire time. Whatever the details, his reputation solidified. He was no longer merely tolerated, he was impossible to dismiss. But admiration bred new rivalries. In the dormitory corridors, whispers turned into secret meetings. Cadets of rival species began to wonder what it meant if Earthlings could match, or even surpass, them in the very traits they valued most. Would Terrans gain sway in council politics? Would they claim territory, or challenge ancient traditions? A few voices began murmuring about containing the human before his reputation grew further. Alex sensed it as well. In quiet walks through the Academy's gardens beneath the emerald night, he felt eyes follow him, heavier than mere curiosity. Admiration mingled with resentment. Some cadets dipped their heads respectfully as he passed. Others narrowed their eyes, calculating in silence. His trials had proven strength, but also painted a mark upon his back. And as the Academy's cycle turned, another summons arrived. Not from instructors, but from the council chamber itself. The elders of the spires sought to test more than muscle or stamina. They wanted to look deeper, into places no weight or contest could measure. The summons arrived without ceremony, just a pulse of light. On Alex's dorm wall, inscribed with the council's glyphs. Few cadets were ever called before the council of elders. Beings who had lived through centuries of treaties, wars, and renaissances. Their chamber stood at the very peak of zenith spires, a dome where the air shimmered with memory fields and layers of translation. As Alex climbed the spiral path upward, cadets whispered from alcoves and balconies, some nodding in hope, others staring with suspicion. He was not walking into a simple trial. He was walking into judgment. The chamber doors opened, revealing a half-circle of elders upon hovering thrones. Their forms varied, winged, crystalline, shifting and formless. But their eyes, whether luminous, compound, or lidless, all turned to him. The floor glowed, echoing the rhythm of thought and heartbeat. Elder Koresh, a towering figure wrapped in shimmering coils, spoke. You have shown strength of body and endurance of will. But strength alone does not define worth. Today we seek the deeper currents of your mind. A hush fell as a lattice of light formed around Alex. The psyche mirror, ancient and feared, said to reveal truths hidden even from oneself. Many cadets had broken under it, their fears exposed, their reputations shattered forever. Alex felt the light enter gently into his thoughts. Not painful, but undeniable. Visions flooded the chamber. Walls, his childhood carrying his sister through floods, his parents' weary faces. At the market, Earth struggled to be seen in a galaxy that dismissed it. The elders murmured in dozens of dialects, analyzing every flicker of memory. Then, the mirror shifted, searching not for the past, but for fear. Darkness swept the walls. Alex saw Earth abandoned, ignored by interstellar councils, its people dismissed as weak and irrelevant. He saw himself mocked, burdened, carrying alone while no hand reached to help. He saw isolation, his greatest fear, that humans would never belong among the stars. Gasps rippled from cadets in the balconies, watching his dread unfold like murals of shadow. Elder Vera leaned forward, bronze feathers trembling. You fear dismissal more than ruin. You fear your world fading into insignificance. Alex clenched his fists. Yes, because that is worse than battle. It is being forgotten. The mirror pulsed again, revealing new images, ones that even surprised Alex. He saw laughter with classmates, guiding Cell through gravity controls, sharing meals with RY, catching M when he slipped on dry stone. He saw strength not in victory, but in moments of carrying others without hesitation. Elder Koresh's coils rippled. Strange. The mirror finds no hunger for conquest, no fear of betrayal, no thirst for dominance. Instead, it finds a will to lift others, even at cost to yourself. Whispers spread. Some cadets frowned in bewilderment. Others looked shaken, having glimpsed a truth they did not expect. Vorik shifted uncomfortably, unnerved by clarity he had never seen in another's trial. One elder, crystalline as a prism, tilted their body. Perhaps the Terran does not understand our way. Here, strength is measured in victories, not burdens borne. Alex drew a breath. Then maybe your measure is flawed. Back home, when storms come, when walls collapse, when fields fail, you don't survive by standing alone. You endure by carrying each other. If that is weakness here, then I will be weak forever. But you saw it yourselves, the weight never broke me. It never will. The chamber fell silent. Then Elder Vera spread her wings. The proof stands. The Terran carries not for conquest, but for others. Such strength is rare, and it is strength we must learn. The decree thundered through the academy. The council's word echoed into every cadet's perception. Alex was no longer an oddity, no longer a tolerated outsider. He was a living example of a strength that unsettled those who equated might with dominance. From that day, the trials changed. Some cadets still tested him, but others sought him out, not to defeat, but to understand. His presence became a gravity of its own, drawing minds into a new orbit. Weeks later, Vorik approached, not with fists, but with a hesitant question. When you carried them, did it hurt? Alex smiled. Of course, carrying always hurts. But it is worth it. And so, word of the trials spread far beyond Zenith spires, carried home in the stories cadets told across the stars. Some would laugh, others deny. Yet some would whisper of a small blue world, whose children could carry more than weight, who could shoulder fear, pride, and even the future without breaking. And in that whisper lay the first tremor of change.